Hey guys, this is Brian coming back again, and I think today's Thursday. No, it's actually Friday now. It's 12:51 a.m. here. Yeah, I'm kind of a night owl since I'm going to school and not working, so I just do most of my schoolwork at night, late at night, and then get to it later. But, anyways, I'm not here to tell you about that shit. I'm here to tell you about comic books, and it's a couple days after Wednesday. And of course, on Wednesday, I went to the comic shop. This week, I thought I would actually take the time to read some of my books before showing them to you, and so I can give you a better, more informed opinion. And so I want you guys to do one thing for me. If you actually watch my videos and you actually agree with any of my opinions, what I want you to do is if I say a book is poo, and you agree with what I've said in the past, God forbid if you do. But if you do agree with me and I give you the thumbs down on a book, I want you to take the price of that book and I want you to put it in an envelope and I want you to save that money so you can buy yourself a nice back issue. Something really nice that you've always wanted. So this is just my opinion and my way of trying to help you get something really good that you really want instead of spending $2.99, $4.99, or more on a book that's probably just a piece of shit anyways. So, um, and then later on, I got a little rant about just eBay, CGC, and the state of comic collecting in general. But first, I have Avengers number 26. I read this one and I really enjoyed it. It's so if you read last issue, you saw that there were some Avengers popping in that were actually not, the Avenger, the character. They were like from an alternate Earth or alternate dimension or reality or whatnot. And it all goes back to those pesky guys at AIM, and so they I'm not gonna ruin it for you. Just it's a good book. I like it. And the artwork is good, and the story is pretty good. It's reminding me of some of the older Avengers books that I've been picking up in droves lately. So I would suggest you get that book. Another book that I suggest you pick up is Coffin Hill. This is issue 5. And again, I'm enjoying this book. So far, so good. I don't remember whose video I think I watched. It might have been Sarah Smash, but she opened up and she showed one of the panels from inside. And this is 100%, I'm sure, a coincidence, but it looked like Venom had invaded the book for a moment. The character that the main character was having a little brawl with looked suspiciously like Venom. And like I said, it's probably just a coincidence because I'm sure they don't feel like getting sued over something stupid, especially since DC or since Marvel is owned by the mouse and has been for years, and so I think everybody's got to be careful of that, pissing the mouse off. Now, some of these books I haven't gotten to reading yet, and one of them is X Force. There it is, X Force number 1. I didn't ask for this in my poll box, but I noticed that my comic shop, they kind of, over the last year or so that I've been going there, they've been starting to figure out what I like, and they kind of throw shit in my box without telling me about it, and sometimes I catch on to it, and I'm like, I don't really want this, and I'll just let them know, and I'll just slide it on the shelf. And other times I won't catch it until I get home, and I'm like, wait a minute, hey, it's the first issue. I'll read it. If I don't like it, I'll let them know. Just like I let them know that I don't want Wolverine anymore. After that new Wolverine number 1, sorry, that's one that you guys can take the price of. It's probably too late though because it's been out for like a week or so. But I would take the price of that comic book, throw it in an envelope, and save it for a good book later. The new Wolverine direction, not a fan of. Alright, I'm done ranting about Wolverine at the moment. I'm sure I'll get back onto it because I got a lot about Wolverine to rant about most of the time. Okay, so this is another one I haven't gotten to reading yet, but I will, and I'm sure I may like it, I may not. But it's Superior Spider-Man number 27. I do like that it looks like the Green Goblin's coming out of the shadows, and he's going to be getting his ass whooped here pretty soon, I'm sure. almost every week that I go into my shop, not my shop, but my local shop, I almost always get in a discussion about somebody's always got an opinion, or they're asking about this new Superior Spider-Man, and I'm sorry, but like I know some people really don't like it. They don't like that Doc Ock is in there, but you know what? I I'm telling you, man, I nobody's been a bigger skeptic on Spider-Man in probably the last 10 years than me. So much so that I've picked up very few Spider-Man books. Um, but there are things about this storyline or this whole series that just makes me scratch my head a little bit. And it's probably, the one thing that does make me scratch my head is that, how has nobody caught on that Peter Parker's not in there until very, very, very recently? Like, come on, the Avengers, they notice he's being a douchebag and they put him on probation. I mean, but again, if they did catch on and let him know or whatever, and take it head on, it would have ruined the whole series. So I get it, but I do think that what's his name? I think it's Dan Slott. I know the last name is Slott, but anyways, I think that guy's been doing a really good job on this book as far as writing. Yeah, so I'll probably continue to pick this up all the way through the end, and I will probably even pick up the new Amazing Spider-Man and stick with that for a while because, yeah, after 10 or more years of not really picking up much in the way of Spider-Man, the Superior Spider-Man has kept my interest for the last year. Since issue 700, I've been picking it up. Or, well, not, you know what I mean. So anyway, next book, Nightwing number 28. Again, if you guys watch these videos at all, you know that this is for my son, not me, and therefore I haven't read it. I might get to it one of these days, but I heard that they're canceling Nightwing, which I don't understand why. I think Nightwing is actually a pretty good character. Although I really don't read a whole lot in the way of DC, so I guess my opinion doesn't really count much for that. But still, I think they could probably hang on to that guy and keep him around a while. Now here's another book that I haven't read. I just kind of thumbed through it so far. It's Winter Soldier number 1. Let's see if I can get a better, less glare. I'm tired. There we go. There we go. Anyways, so this is Winter Soldier number 1. I've never read anything with this guy in it except for those new Invaders books. And, back when he actually was Bucky way back in the day. So that I complain about Marvel not having good art, or having really nice art on the cover and not having good art on the inside. I'm not a super fan of this cover or this artwork, but it does go with what's inside, and I guess it's kind of giving me a noir or a spy feel for this book, and I think that's probably what they're going for. I'll know more when I read it. This next book, I picked up the first issue of it, and so I think because I did that, the guys at the shop think that I want it every month. I'm probably going to go ahead and cancel it. It's, there we go. It's Legendary number 2 by Dynamite. Not feeling it. It's a pretty cover, but I don't know. Those characters don't really do a whole lot for me. Next up, by Boom Studios, Sons of Anarchy, number 6. Yeah, again, I haven't read these yet. I'm gonna gather them all together and read them, sit down and read them as though they were a trade, all at once. So I get, it's kind of like binge watching Sons of Anarchy on Netflix. Next book, again, haven't read this one, but it's Deadpool number 23. This is from my son again, and this is probably one of the most disturbing covers I've seen in a while. Yeah, I get it, Deadpool and aliens, but it's disturbing and funny all at the same time. He's sticking the little head sticking his tongue out. It's pretty gross. Either way, I hope he likes it because he's a little weirdo. All right, this next book, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that you should take your $2.99 and put it in an envelope and save it for your giant size X-Men #1, your Amazing Spider-Man 129, your Hulk 181, or whatever it is you guys that like DC like. But Mercenary C, the story is kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. Basically, it's set in World War II in the South Pacific, or actually in the days following, leading up to World War II, when the Japan and China are going at it, and basically Japan is eating up all of the South Pacific. So the premise is there's this group of guys. They own a submarine. They've got a submarine, and they're doing mercenary work in the South China Seas, I guess. The story is kind of good, but what is not good is that the inside looks like it's done strictly with Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and it doesn't look like it's done well with Illustrator. Yeah, so my opinion, if it might be, I don't know. I would take the $2.99 and put it in an envelope and save it for later for something you want. Next book, All New X-Men 23. Good book. Again, I really enjoy this book. I have from the very, again, this is another book that Marvel's putting out, and I thought the whole idea, they're bringing the old X-Men from the past to the future, I thought that was ridiculous. But I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, and I can't pronounce this guy's name right, but this Imonen guy, Stewart, I think his name's Stewart. I'd never heard of him before this book, and yeah, I really like his work, and I really like this book. Next up is one that I haven't gotten to yet, but it's Harbinger #21. Yep, I've been enjoying a lot of the. Yeah, again, you guys all know that I like. And here's the full box edition. You guys all know that I like Valiant books. I did read this one. Damn it. Anyways, sorry. Anyways, I did read Eternal Warrior #6, and this was really pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. So if you don't read any Valiant books, or if you've thought about getting onto the Valiant bandwagon, I would suggest picking up issue #5 because it starts this story arc, and if you like sword and sorcery and that kind of stuff, I would highly recommend this because Gilad goes it's in the future, but it's like a post-apocalyptic world, and it's really pretty good so far. I would buy that one. Next book, I don't know if this is a book that's new this week. I don't think it is, but it's one that was sitting on the shelf, and so I snapped it up. And it's Sex Criminals #4. There you go. Again, this is one of those books that I was kind of, after my rant about the Avengers, I was kind of opposed to the whole idea of sex criminals. But yeah, it's not for children, so it's cool that they do all kinds of crazy shit in it, and it's a funny book so far. Okay, so I think this is new this week. So yeah, it's a Walking Dead book. It's number 121. Yeah, this Negan story is dragging out, and it's getting there. I'm looking forward to the conclusion of the story arc. But man, if by the time they get to this point in the TV show, the kid that's playing Carl is gonna be my freaking age at the rate that they're going with this story, and with as slow as they go with the TV show. I mean, I understand that they go slow with the TV show. I get it. You got certain episodes, whatever. But man, that kid's gonna be old as shit by the time they get to this point, at the rate that they're going with this storyline. I don't know. I would almost say save your money on that. I'm starting to I really like The Walking Dead, but I mean, I'm just getting turned off by how long it takes for them to develop these stories. I mean, I don't want it to run super fast, but at the same time, I'd kind of like to, you know, get to a conclusion. I mean, they've gone back and forth and back and forth. Just do something already. These next two books, they have one thing in common, and I'll let you know that in a minute. So it's issue 44. I'm sorry, issue 4 of 44. So basically, it's issue 444. It's a good book. I like this book so far. I really do. I really do find myself lately drawn to the. Yeah, I think I probably said it last week. Drawn toward the science fiction stuff, like this and Black Sciences. I can't say enough good about Black Science. I really like that book. So we'll move on from this one, which this is a book that the guys at my comic shop, they threw the first issue in my box, and they hit the nail on the head that time. And this next book is another book this book I cannot say enough good about. It's just the whole concept. The concept is just awesome. I love it. So it's Manifest Destiny number 4 again, and number 4. So that's two things these books have in common. So this is Sakajo. I can't say her name right, but anyways, Sacagawea is how I was taught in school. I'm sure it's wrong, but anyways, this is her. She doesn't have quite this much going on in the book, but it's awesome. This book is wonderful. So anyways, the other thing that these two, other than a number 4, and being books that I like, they both have Clark in them. Lewis and Clark, and the name of the ship on this, the spaceship, is the Clark. So there you go, a little useless trivia for your day. Next book is a number 1 that, again, they threw it in my box because, I mean, I don't ask them to do this, but I was very happy to see it when they did, because in, I don't know, a recent Vertigo book, I saw the cover for it, and so I was like, ooh, what's this about? And it's Royals number 1, and it's about pretty freaking awesome. So basically, it's about the Royals. It takes place in, you guessed it, by the aircraft, World War II. Although those look like P-51 Mustangs, and I don't think they had them at the time that this would have taken place. But basically, yeah, you want me to ruin it for you? No, okay, I will. So anyways, superpower guy, the Royals, you guessed it. They're tied in together. But that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to ruin it for you anymore. It was a good book. I really liked it. I really liked the artwork in this too. I would suggest picking up The Royals by Rob Williams and Simon Colby, right there on the cover. Yep, there's their names. Anyways, yeah, this was a good book. I enjoyed it. And I was going to hold out till probably tomorrow or something to actually do my poll, because I've got some books coming in from eBay that I was going to throw on the end and show you, but they didn't get here today because of the snow or whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you the one back issue that I did buy this week, and maybe tomorrow I'll do another video for the stuff that I got off of eBay. So while I was at the shop, saw one of the guys working there. He had a box, half full of comics, and he's kind of going through it. I'm like, ooh, what's that? Because every time I see a box sitting up there, I'm like, hey, what's in the box, man? What's in the box? Not like 7 what's in a box, because I'm not really expecting a head, but, I'm expecting good news. So anyways, I got some good news. Somebody brought in, like, I don't know, it looked to me like 30 or 40 issues of Spider-Man. And one of them was 316. I'm sure that I've already got this in my collection. It's way back, up in New York. But I just love this cover. And it's in really great shape. With the exception of, like, along the top and some on the front cover, it almost looks like I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but I don't know. It's kind of like got an edge on it, and it's not smooth. But you know what? I didn't care. I just really love that book. Um, so this brings us to my rants portion of this, and it's about eBay, and it's about back issues, and it's about CGC, and it's about the state of greed in the industry. Now I understand that greed is, I mean, it's there. Some people just want money; they don't care, and they wouldn't be able to be super greedy if it weren't for people like us that just say the hell with it, and I really want that issue, and so we buy it. But so here's the first thing. This is just a guide. I get it, but if you are serious about buying comic books and back issues, and you're buying them off of eBay, you should have a copy of this sitting beside your computer, not so that you, just so that you have an idea of where to start. Especially if you're, so you say, you know what, this guy's, it'll go up to whatever, but this guy's asking $300 more than a book is record, is in the guide for. That's just fucking ridiculous. I saw a guy with a Avengers 57. I love that cover, and I saw an 8.0. I think that book's out at like $130, something like that. You know what? Just so I don't look like a complete idiot, I'm gonna look it up and tell you exactly what the guide says about that book. Give me a second, please. All right, almost there. Don't mind my bald spot. All right, no, that's not it. Okay, first appearance of the Vision. It's 131 in the guide for an 8.0. I get it. A lot of times, and it's CGC, so people expect more for CGC. But it's 131 8.0. I found one on eBay, 8.0. This guy was asking $900 for it. $900. So, yeah, I sent him an offer, and he, of course, declined it. But I was kind of expecting a reply, $100 isn't enough, and I offered him less than guy. Just hey, who knows? He might have accepted. But if he'd have hit me back at like 150, 175, I may well have bid off on that. But I mean, come on, the guy's asking $900. That's ridiculous. And another thing that's got me a little riled right now is I was on Craigslist, and there's a guy in my local area. He's got an Amazing Spider-Man. No, I'm sorry. He's got Secret Wars number 8. It's CGC'd at a 9.6, and that goes for about $100 on eBay. And he's got it signed by Stan Lee and the Mike Zeck and the other guy that worked on the book. Now I get it; they're signed. That's great, but he's asking $325 for it, and that's understandable. He can ask what he wants. And when I offered him so much, he's like, we went back and forth for a little bit over text messages. And one of the things like that just bugged me was, he's like telling me what he can get for it, what they go for on eBay. And I was looking at him on eBay, and I was like, dude, they're not $300 books. But he's telling me, yeah, it looks like the average on eBay is about $275 for completed listings, and that's going way up when Stan Lee passes. And he's got that in his Craigslist ad. So this guy is banking on Stan Lee dying. Of course, everybody dies, and Stan's pretty freaking old. But this guy, I mean, come on, that's blatant. Come on, dude. This guy is just waiting for Stan Lee to die. Just wants him to die. It's fucking. It's ridiculous. It just feels like the guy's being greedy to me. You know what? And if he'd have come back at me, and like I even told him I'll go up to $200 on it, but he's still sticking firm at like $325. And I'm like, well, what's the lowest you can go? And he's like $300. I'm like, I'm at 2, you're at 3. If you could come to, I would have met him in the middle of probably $250. But the guy was like, nope, Stan's gonna die soon, so this is gonna go way up in price. I mean, come on, man. That was kind of bugged me. So yeah, that's going to wrap up my rant about that. If you watched this long and you got through that and you don't think I'm a total psycho, thank you. Like, favorite, subscribe. Yeah, hopefully I'll have another video for you soon with the eBay books that I just got or that I ordered. So you guys have a good night.